everybody to Wednesday Night Yin. If everybody here in the studio is laying on their back already, so if you're watching at home, that's where you're gonna go.
Hey, that's your friend, man. She's done.
You can laugh if you want, right? Just as long as you're laughing and bringing that focus to your breath while you're doing it. Let your breath push out all your other distractions. So you end up here, fully focused on your mat, your practice. Here, just fully present to your mat, your practice. Like I always tell you guys, right? The best thing that Yin can do for you is teach you how to ground yourself in the present moment. Not traveling so far forward in the future, you can't focus on the here and now. You're not letting yourself get stuck so far in the past that you can't focus on the here and now. Even though you're not controlling your breath, just let it guide you, ground you to your mat. Just be and feel whatever it is in this moment. Maybe tomorrow your body will be stronger or weaker. Maybe it'll be more energized, more tired. None of that matters. It matters how it feels right now, right here. Body you have in this moment, and it's the body that we're going to work with. When you're ready here, you're just going to take your knees and hug them in to your chest. Let's just do a couple lumbar circles at first, right? Wake up the spine a little bit. So take your knees over to the right, push them away from your body, bring them to the left, and then pull it back in. Just making a little circle around your sacrum, low part of your back. Just feel good, kind of a little spinal massage, waking up that spine. Do a few more circles this direction. Let's come to a stop here. Take those circles the other direction. So just let your knees go over to the left first, then push them away from your body. Bring it to the right and pull it back in. Circling around here. A couple more this way. And let's just meet back with our knees hugged to our chest. Now from here, keep that right knee hugged into your chest. Just take your left leg and extend it long. Put your heel on the mat and just hug that right knee in. Angle your right knee kind of towards your right armpit. Almost like you're gonna pull it down inside your armpit. Take that left thigh bone, right? And really press it towards the mat. So your left leg. Getting a little bit of use. Mostly to focus on the right leg, just pulling it in as much as you can. One more breath here. Then just release your left hand. Let your left hand go out to a T straight out of your body. Take your right hand to the inside of your right knee and just push your right knee all the way open. Right, so you're bringing the sole of your right foot, that left inner thigh, letting that right knee fall to the right. So that probably doesn't hit the ground, your knee, right? And that's okay. You can push down on the inner thigh with your right hand or the inside of your knee, just letting that thigh open up a little bit more. You can just relax your right hand down if you want. We're gonna lay here for a minute or so. Just gradually letting that right hip open up. So maybe you're feeling a little bit of sensation as you lie here in that right hip, that right inner thigh. It's okay, right? That's what's grounding us to this moment. So you know that you're here. Whatever sensation your body's bringing right now, try to just be still through it. Let your body feel that. Let your mind feel that. Let's take 3 more breaths. Take that right knee, bring it back in. And then from there, now take your left hand, bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Let your right arm go out long, that T position, and just let that left knee guide the right knee over to the left side of your body. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. That's your leg on camera here. And just a little single knee twist. Do it from this angle. Speed. So you feel that sensation now in your right hip. It's all right, that's what we're going for. Right? You can see, I don't get my right knee or my right foot down to the ground here. I like to let my right foot rest on my left inner thigh, right? Because that's where it kind of lands for me. If your right foot comes all the way down to the mat, but your right hip doesn't, but your right knee doesn't, right? And that's okay, right? Let that foot rest on the ground. Maybe you're somebody who can get that whole foot and knee down to the ground at once. If that happens for you, that's great. Just make sure you're keeping that right shoulder anchored to the ground, just like when we do those supine twists at the end. All right, now from here, bring that right knee back up to center and just hug it in one more time. And let's switch out our legs. Let that right leg go all the way along. Take your left knee, hug it in. Just like we did on the right knee, we're trying to kind of aim that left knee towards your left armpit. But you're engaging that right leg a little bit so you can push that right thigh down into the mat. You can push that right heel into the mat. So keep that right leg grounded. Helps you get a little deeper into that left hip. 4 more breaths here. And from there, now we're going to let that left knee open up. So you're taking your right hand out to the right, so the right fingertips come straight out of your right shoulder blade. Take your left hand to the inside of your left knee and just push that left knee open. So bringing the sole of the left foot to that right inner thigh. Just look straight up here. You push down with that left hand, open that leg up a little bit more, or you can let your left hand relax. 3 more breaths. And then from there, now you're going to take that left knee, bring it back up. Now we're going to switch it out. So you're going to take your right hand to the outside of your left knee, let your left arm go straight out, and then just guide that left knee over to the right side of your body. Take your chin, your gaze over your left shoulder. Again, you're trying to keep that left shoulder anchored. You're pulling that left knee over as far as it will come, but it might not come all the way to the ground. Definitely doesn't for me. You should still feel that sensation through your left hip. That's what we want. Don't back it off just because you're afraid of feeling that sensation. Let that sensation come. Now from here, you're going to bring that left knee back up. Hug it into your chest. All right, now this time you're just going to bring that right knee in to join the left. So now both knees are hugged into your chest. Take your hands to the crease of your knees. You can rock yourself up here to a seated position, or if you want to, you can just roll to one side and come around to seated. All right, we're going to come right here into an easy sit at first. Everybody's going to bring their right leg in front. Even if you're like me and your right leg is your awkward leg, right? We're going to switch it eventually. So everybody's got that right knee in front. And then just take your hands up to the sky, right? Now from here, you're going to drop your right hand to your right side. Now maybe here, you can drop all the way down to your elbow, right? And reach those right fingertips over. Centered to the mat. You can always use a block here. Right next to the block, so I can easily grab one. So you can always take a block, let your elbow come to the block as you reach up and over. If none of that works for you and you can't get down that low, then you just press your palm to the mat or to the block. First, trying to reach over. So you want that left bicep, I should say, going right over the left ear. Left fingertips reaching right towards the right side of the room. So your chest is spiraling open. You're not curving down towards your right leg. All right, I just want you to hold here for 4 more breaths. Letting that left side body open up. When you're ready, come back up here. Right, so now we're going to go to the other side. So drop your left hand down to your left side. Again, you have a block, and you can get that elbow to the block, get the elbow to the block. Or if you can get your elbow to the ground, out the block. I can't quite do it on this side. The left side, all jacked up, all the time, right? If you can get that elbow to the ground without the block, do that. If you need the block, use the block. If it doesn't work, even with the block, then just press your palm into the mat or the block. Keep your right hip anchored to the ground. Keep your chest spiraling open. Take 4 more breaths here. Here you're going to bring everything back up. Now reach up high, turn your palms towards the front of the room. We're just going to take a basic forward fold here over the right leg. So bring your hands down in front of your right shin. And you're just going to start to walk it forward, right? Maybe all you can do is walk your hands an inch or 2 forward. Right, you want to keep those hips anchored to the ground. Now trying to tuck your chin and get your head to come to the ground. You're trying to get your chest as far forward as it'll go. Maybe you can drop your elbows here. Maybe again, you can use the block and get to your elbows. Maybe just stay on your palms. You want to come as far forward as you can with your chest while your hips stay anchored to the ground. Slowly come back up here. All right, now we're still in the easy sit, but we're going to switch our legs. So you're going to bring your other leg in front now. So bring your left leg in front, right? Maybe that's your easier leg, or maybe it's a more awkward leg. We're going to twist here, but what I want you to do, take your block, bring it back behind you, right? And then what you're going to do, you're going to take your hands up to the sky. Now as you twist here, see if you can take that right hand and set it all the way back behind you on the block, right? And then you're going to take your left hand, bring it outside your right knee, look over your right shoulder. So you can move that block, right? I'm going to turn around here. Here, let's put my right hand back here. Maybe move that block all the way over by your left hip, and you can still reach it, right? Maybe you have to move it back to center. Maybe you have to move it more over towards the right before you can easily set your palm on it, right? So I want you to adjust that, and then take your gaze over your right shoulder. More breath. Now we're going to untwist. Take your hands, untwist, reach up to the sky, lengthen out. Now your left hand is going to come behind your back. You're going to drop it to the block. And again, arrange the block, right? Maybe you can push it all the way over by your right hip and still set your hand on it. Maybe it has to be back more towards the center. Right? So find that while your right hand is still reaching up to the sky, and then just bring that right hand across your body. Drop it outside your left knee. Pull against your left knee so you can open your chest a little bit more to the left. Your gaze going over your left shoulder. Three more breaths. Then you're going to let yourself unwind here. Take your hands back up to the sky. Turn your palms towards the front of the room. Now we take that fold again over the left leg this time. So drop your hands down to the mat and then walk it forward. Again, you can take that block from behind you. Bring it underneath your hands if that makes it feel better. Let your elbows land on it, or don't use the block at all. Just let your hands come forward. Keep your hips anchored to the mat. Just bring your chest as far forward as you can with your hips still anchored to the mat. Take a minute here. Slowly come back up. As we come all the way back up. Right now, we're going to unwind our legs and we're going to come into tabletop. So that's hands and knees pose, right? So make your way into tabletop. If you need a blanket under your knees, put one under there, right? We're going to be on the knees for a little bit in a sense that one knee or the other is going to be down on the ground. So if you need that padding, take it now, right? So that you're nice and comfortable as we do this. Once you're in place in your tabletop, just take a few cat-cows so that we can get that spine moving, right? Lift your chin up to the sky, tuck your tailbone under for cow, tuck your chin, round your back, hollow out your armpits for cat. Just do that a couple times through. Getting that synovial fluid to go through your spine, right? That's what happens when we do these cat-cows. Makes all of our movements in the spine a little easier and a little more fluid. One more round here. And we're going to meet back in our tabletop. Now, from your tabletop, you're just going to take your right foot and step it out to the right. Try to move over here. There we go. Right. So your right toes are pointed towards the front of the room. Right. Your right foot's flat on the mat. Your right heel's kind of even with your left knee. Now, what you're going to do from here, right? You're just going to take your left hand and you're going to slide it underneath your right armpit. Come down to your left shoulder. Come down the left side of your head. Maybe you can get those left fingertips to reach all the way until they touch the right toes. If you don't get that far, it's okay. You can take that right hand, you can either reach it forward or you wrap it around behind your back, reaching towards the left inner thigh. So we're basically going to thread the needle here. I suppose most of you should be familiar with. We just all extended that leg first. You should still feel it in your left shoulder. By stepping out with that right leg first, we're adding a little bit to the right leg. If you need to change it to a regular thread the needle by stepping that right foot in, that's always an option. Right, we're just going to take 4 more breaths here right now. And from here, you're going to bring that right hand back around by your face. Right? You're going to push up with your right hand. So you're threading that left hand through. Just come back into a regular tabletop position with your right hand and your left hand. Then what we're going to do from here, you're going to push away from the mat with both hands, and we're going to rise up. So you still got that right foot stepped out, right? So you're just reaching up high. Now, we're just going to take a little gate pose here just for a couple breaths. Let your right hand come along your right thigh. Reach that left hand up and over. So it's another side bend, opening up all along the left side body. And then from there, bring your hands back up. Now, from here, you're going to let those right toes flip up. Well, first let your hands come down, right? They don't have to be in tabletop position here, unless you want to be. They're kind of right in front of your left knee right now. You want your right toes flip up off the mat. So your right heel's pressing into the ground. You've got those right toes flipped up. And then from there, you're just going to walk your hands a little bit over towards your right foot, right? So you're not dropping down with your hips. I mean, you can if you want to push your hips a little bit back towards your left heel, right? But you're not trying to sit down on your left heel or anything. You're trying to reach your hands, that diagonal position. So you should feel this in your right inner thigh. You really take those right toes curling back towards you. Three more breaths here. And then walk your hands back in towards your left knee. Now, let those right toes rotate back down, right? What you're going to do from here is now you're going to push your hips back, right? So maybe you walk your hands a little bit more forward and you just push a little bit back. If your body allows for it, you can bring that left hip all the way to the left heel, reaching your arms past your left leg. Right? It doesn't have to be all the way down low like this. Like I said, it could be just here, walk your hands forward, just pushing those hips a little bit back. Three more breaths. And we're going to bring it back up. Now, if you came all the way down with that left hip to the left heel, I want you to bring your hands by your left knee as you push up, right? So that you're not using your left knee to take your body weight, right? You're using your hands to take your body weight. Come back up. Now, as we come all the way back up, we're going to step that right foot back in, and just come back to regular tabletop. All right, now we're gonna do that on the other side. So get back into your tabletop. Now you're gonna take that left foot and just step it out to the left. So your left toes are on the mat, pointed towards the front of the room. So you got that left heel lined up with your right knee. Right, now you're gonna take your right hand, turn your right fingertips towards the left side of the room, and just slide that right arm underneath the left, come down to your right shoulder, come down to the right side of your head. Right, once you get all the way down here, so really reach those right fingertips over. Like maybe they could touch your left toes. Maybe you take your left hand, reach it forward. Right? Maybe you wrap it around behind your back. We're just here in this extreme thread the needle, right? That's what I like to call it. Now you can always, if you need to, step that left knee in, right, while you're doing this. If that's what makes your thread the needle better. You still want that focus to be on your right shoulder, right? That's what we're really stretching here. But we're adding on a little bit as we step that left foot out into the left thigh. Just take a minute here. Three more breaths. And then you're going to bring that left hand back by your face. Next, you're going to use it and thread that right arm, and then just bring your arms back to tabletop arms. And keep that left foot extended, keep your left foot on the ground, push away from the mat with both hands, rise all the way up. So we're coming up here into our gate pose. Then we're just gonna take a few breaths in our side gate. So you just let that left hand come along your left thigh. Reach those right fingertips over towards the left side of the room. Three more breaths. Slowly gonna bring your hands back up. And then you're gonna drop your hands down right in front of your right knee. Now you flip those left toes up. And then you start to walk your hands over towards your left leg. Not dropping down with your hips here, just keeping your hips up. Maybe pushing a little back to the right. Walking your hands as much over towards the left as you can. Then that starts to go through your left thigh. Maybe a little bit into the left hamstring. That's where I'm feeling it. Definitely in the inner thigh. Fans split my hair everywhere. Nope, air conditioning came on. It's all right. A couple more breaths. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Now let your hands walk back towards your right knee. Now let your left foot rotate down, right? So now we're gonna come to that half child's pose, right? So you walk your hands a little bit forward in front of you, right? So your shoulders back behind your wrist. Now maybe you can push all the way back and let that right hip come over the right heel. Your left toes flip up off the mat again, right? Maybe you keep that foot down, the toes pointed forward. Right? Maybe you don't come all the way down to your hip, right? And you just lean back, just push back a little bit, letting your arms extend in front of you, right? The more you bring your arms in front of you, the less you have to drop your hips, right? But you can do both. You can drop your hips all the way down and reach your arms in front of you. Either way, your arms are going straight out, like your hands are kind of on either side of your right knee, wherever they're lined up. Three more breaths here. And then we're slowly going to come up. Now, if you're down all the way on your right heel, right, bring your hands by your right knee on either side of your right knee, so that as you push up, and it's your hands that are taking the weight, not your right knee. Okay. Bring your hands back out into your tabletop. And then from there, bring that left knee in. And we're all the way back, just in our regular tabletop. All right, this time as we get back to tabletop, let's take some hip circles. So you're gonna bump your hips over to the right, and then push back, let them drop towards your right heel. Kind of scrape both hips across your heels so they come over to the left, and then bring it all the way back up. So you're just making that big circle with your hips, round and around. Turn sideways here so you can see. Back on the camera, there we go. All right, so just do a few more like that. And then next time you come all the way back up, just switch directions, right? Take your knees, your hips over to the left, up and down, scrape them along your heels and bring them up to the right. One more round here. And let's just meet back in our regular tabletop. Now, once you're here in your regular tabletop, this time you're gonna let your hips come down to one side or the other, and just bring your legs in front of you. All right, we're gonna come into that wide-legged forward fold, right? So I'm bringing my legs super wide. You can use your block here if you want to, or just bring that block right in front of you. Have your hands on it, or you can do it without the block, right? Just have your hands on the mat. What you're gonna do here is just walk yourself as far forward as you can. So you're gonna have that block underneath your hands. Let you go a little bit further, keeping that connection with the earth, but you don't have to. You can have your hands flat on the mat. You just wanna bring your chest as far forward as you can. Right, so don't tuck your chin to your chest. You're not trying to drive your head to the ground. You want the crown of your head somewhere in between, straight ahead towards the mirrors and up to the sky. You don't want the crown of your head facing towards the ground, right? That would mean that you're rounding your neck or rounding your back. We don't want that. Keep your toes up to the sky, keep your knees up to the sky. Feel this inner thighs. As long as you're feeling that, you're doing the right thing. Four more breaths. Slowly let yourself walk back up. Now from here, you're going to take your right leg, right? So your right leg's just going to come straight in front of you. And then you're going to bend into your left knee. Make that little half butterfly. So letting the sole of your left foot come against your right inner thigh. That left knee is falling open. Sometimes if your left knee is way up in the air, sometimes I use my block, right, to put my block underneath my left knee to give it a little stability, right? If you can get it mostly down to the mat, then don't worry about it, but it's just an option to make everything a little more stable. Now we're gonna turn ourselves towards that right leg. Take your hands up to the sky, and now you're just gonna fold straight over your right leg. And so as you come down, it's the same as when we were just doing that wide-legged forward fold. You wanna keep your back nice and flat. Don't tuck your chin to your chest. You're not trying to get your head down to your knee. Right? You're just trying to bring your chest as far forward over your leg as you can. On this side, at least, I can grab my foot, right? But you don't have to, right? Maybe you're grabbing your ankle or your shin or your knee, right? Maybe that's as far forward as you come, and that's okay. You just have your hands on the mat on either side of your right leg. Bring that chest forward. You want to feel this in your right hamstring. It's right in the back of your thigh. You might feel it in your low back a little bit too. You feel more of a stretch than a pain or a pull, right? But sometimes you get that little stretch as we twist our spine slightly to the right here, and that's good. One more breath here. Slow, let yourself peel up. Right now, as you peel up here, you've got your left shin coming across the mat. And I want you to stay there with that left shin coming across the mat. You're gonna lean a little bit to the left. Now either you're gonna swing that right leg all the way back behind you and come into full pigeon, letting your left hip lift off the mat and pushing your right hip down towards your left heel. And so it's like this, and then you'll come down into your full pigeon. If you don't like full pigeon, right, then you're just bending into that right knee as you swing it back. Bring the right thigh against the sole of the left foot. You're still gonna take yourself and fold over that left shin. So you can be in pigeon, or you can be in deer, whichever one feels better to you. You get a lot of sensation in pigeon. Sometimes that's what we need to feel that sharp sensation. We talked about before. The sensation guides you to your mat, grounds you in the present moment. Sometimes that sensation can be a little too sharp, right? Instead of taking you into the present moment, it's taking you out of the present moment. In that case, that's when you want to come into your deer and pull that knee against the shin so that you can still get that sensation in the left hip. But it's not so much that you're leaving the present moment and just thinking about the moment when I tell you to come out of it, right? Wherever you are right now, whatever sensation you're feeling, I want you to feel like it's somewhere you can comfortably stay for the next 5 breaths. That's what we're going to do. Stay right here for the next 5 breaths. Ready here, come back up to your palms. And then, if you're in pigeon, you're gonna let that left hip come all the way down. Sweep that right leg back around in front of you. So now we're back here in that kind of half butterfly position. We're gonna switch out. You're gonna let that left leg come straight out in front of you. So you wanna be where that left leg's coming straight out towards the top of your mat. Bend into your right knee. Bring that right shin across the top of your mat so that the sole of your right foot is against your left inner thigh. Right? And again, if you need to, you can take the block, put it underneath your knee. I need that more on the right side. The right knee comes up a little bit, my left knee usually comes right down to the mat. Actually, means I have better flexibility on my right side than my left, which you'll see when I do this fold here, right? So we're all gonna angle ourselves towards the left leg, take your hands up to the sky, and then just fold over your left leg. Right? When I do this on the right side, I can easily grab my foot. That doesn't happen so much on the left, and that's okay, right? It's just different. Still trying to keep that back nice and flat. Getting the crown of the head to go towards the mirror. You should be looking at your left knee. Right? If you had perfect flexibility, your nose would land on your left knee. Doesn't mean it has to. The head doesn't have to get to your leg. Just bringing your chest forward. Take 4 more breaths. And let yourself peel up here. Right, now we're going to keep this time that right shin parallel to the front of the mat. So you're leaning to the right. So you can take that left leg, and again, maybe you're coming to pigeon, you swing it all the way back behind you. Let that right hip lift up off the mat. Let that left leg go straight back behind you, pressing your left hip down towards your right heel. So I'm folding over my right leg here. Okay. It feels like too much in your pigeon. I said, I want that sensation to ground you to the present moment, not drag you out of it. So if it feels like too much, you can always drop down to your left hip. Bend into your right knee. Bend into your left knee. Pull your left knee against the sole of your right foot. And fold over your right shin from there. 2 options, be in pigeon, be in deer. Let's take the next minute here. Ready, come back up to your palms. All right, now if you're in pigeon, let that right hip come down, right? And then everybody's gonna lean to the right. So take that left leg, swing it in front of you. Bring the right leg to join it. Right, and give your legs a little patty cake here, if that feels good. You don't have to, right? Loosen them up, get that blood flowing back through your knees and your hips. We're gonna lay down on our back here, and we're gonna finish off on our back. Right? So you're gonna come around, let the toes come to the top of the mat, bend into your knees, and then take your arms out long, let yourself lay all the way down on your back here. Once you're down on your back, right, we're gonna come into a reclining down ankle, and that's what we're gonna do for the next minute. Let the soles of your feet come together, and just let your knees fall out to the sides. Do whatever you want to with your hands here. You can bring your hands to your inner thighs and push those legs open a little bit more. You can rest your hands in your belly or at your sides. You can take your arms out to a T. You can always reach your arms up overhead if you want to stretch out the upper body a little bit. Again, if you need more sensation to ground you to this moment, and you pull those heels in closer to your body. You need to back off the sensation to keep you grounded to the moment. Push those heels further away. More of a diamond shape with your leg. Find the place where you want to be. Stay here for one more minute. Take 3 more breaths. And you're going to bring your knees together. Hug your knees into your chest. All right? Let's take our final twist here. So let your arms go out long, like wings in a T position. And as you exhale, just drop both knees over to the right. Take your chin, your gaze to the left. Make it more if you want by pressing down with that right hand, bringing those knees closer to the earth. Or extend your legs toward your right fingertips, or just stay where you are. Keep that left shoulder anchored. That's what's going to give you the twist. From there, pick your knees up and then drop them over to the left. It's the same thing here. Keep that right shoulder anchored, maybe pressing down on your knees with your left hand, maybe extending your legs toward your left fingertips. And just staying where you are. We always finish off with this twist to seal up our practice. Bodies remember everything that happened tonight. Next time we come practice, it'll seem a little easier. You'll be able to go everywhere a little deeper. Next inhale, bring your knees back up to center. Give them one final hug into your chest. Let's set up for that final pose, our Shavasana. Let your legs extend long. Let your hands go to your sides. That's your traditional Shavasana, flat on your back. You don't have to stay there if it's not comfortable to you. Bend your knees if you want, butterfly your legs. The air conditioning's been on for a while now. Maybe wear your blanket over you. If I were really doing Shavasana, I would. You can roll to your side or roll to your belly. You can sit up if you need to, right? Just find somewhere to be where you're going to be perfectly comfortable, where you're going to be able to stay perfectly still. and most importantly, where your mind is going to be able to go perfectly quiet. Those of you that are in the studio, I'm going to come around with a little sea salt. That's at least I did this morning. Here we go. For your towel. If you don't have a towel, you know where you are. Put that towel over your eyes. If you have a towel at home, put it over your eyes. If you don't, just close your eyes. Let your breath start to take you to that quiet mind. That was the sea salt, but okay, sandalwood citrus. It's up there, have it add first. It's alright, sandalwood citrus is good for us. Okay. Sandalwood is going to relax you. Citrus will keep you slightly energized. So again, if you stay here on your mat and don't drift off, you're still letting your mind go quiet. Letting your breath take you to that quiet mind. You don't have to control your breath. You don't have to do anything to your breath. Just let it go. Let it be your guide. Let it guide you right to that place where there's nothing left in your mind but you and your breath. When you get there, that's your true quiet of the mind. Now slowly start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, feeling that increased sensation that comes with a quiet mind. If you want to here, you can take your arms overhead, do a nice full deep body stretch. And from there, just roll over onto your right side in a fetal position. Take a couple breaths right there, just to reacclimate to our space. Let the sights, the sounds of the room come back to you. Take as long as you need right here. And when you're ready, only when you're ready, push yourself up to seated and we will close here. So let's close with just our two Bhamari breaths and then an Om. So the Bhamari breath, we inhale as we exhale, make a little humming sound in the back of the throat. And the Om is the universal syllable, uses all parts of the throat. You can join me in these breaths or you can just listen. Let's close our eyes here. We'll inhale together. Inhaling again. And then we'll inhale one final time, an Om. Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this morning. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. All right. So I will see you guys all again on Saturday. We have a full schedule this weekend again, finally, right? So slow flow Saturday, gentle on Sunday. Angie will be here tomorrow morning with some more yin. If you want to join her, Eliza will be here Friday morning with Pilates bar. I will see you all Saturday. Bye.